Hey everyone, welcome to Taqueando. I'm your host, Bill Esparza. And this week on the podcast, we're going to recap the year that was 2025. And joining me today is the newly anointed Dr. Naomi Mendoza, owner of Cuernavacas Grill, our favorite place in the Fashion District for chile rellenos and all kinds of wonderful food from her home state of Morelos, but also local food, Mexican American, all things yummy and delicious. Hey, Naomi.
Hi, Bill. So great to be back on.
Yes. And of course, I cannot end this year without having a good talk about the way the year went. Of course, you and I have talked about this so much. We've talked about it throughout the year. We had an episode where you and I walked and shared, kind of our thoughts on what's happening in the fashion district, which you've been going through there, and also introducing me to Labubus.
The good old Labubu's.
Yeah, I actually saw a video recently you shared in where you were in Korea, and there was a Labubu, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, we had to smuggle them somehow.
Right. Well, okay. Well, the year began with the 2025 wildfires in Los Angeles back in January, which obviously had a huge effect on the restaurant industry. How did you guys feel that in the fashion district?
Yeah, so I'd say in the restaurant industry in particular, I feel like it was really hard, especially with the week that it all began, because that was a week that, us for catering, we were expecting, a lot of caterings for Dia de los Reyes, and we had a lot of clients in the Palisades. So we were overly prepped for that. Didn't happen, but we just cared for the safety and well being for everyone. But I feel like in the LA Fashion District, we get a very diverse community. For example, we get a lot of costume designers, we get a lot of producers that go there to source and their props and just little things here and there. And when the wildfires happened, I feel like it just put a stop on absolutely everything. It didn't matter what industry you were in. We just all felt it collectively. And I feel like that was just the start of LA coming together. Little did we know what would follow throughout the year. But yeah, we saw it tremendously. And then, not to mention vegetation, and we're sourcing everything
Yeah.
locally and everything, made from scratch. So that was, a nightmare to deal with. But we just carried throughout the year. So yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand. And of course, there's not, there's in the news cycle, especially during this administration, it's every day there's some kind of outrage and some ridiculousness going on and craziness and awfulness. But, when there's a lot of people that worked in the Palisades that were from our community, not just Mexicans, but Central
Mm-hmm.
Americans, indigenous people that worked as domestics and all kinds that lost their jobs. And of course, that means they're not going into your restaurant. And in addition to
Mm-hmm.
the large amount of catering that you guys do, a lot of people don't understand when they see a restaurant like yours and they see that they might go there during the day and say, well, I don't understand, how does a place like Cuernavacas Grill stay in business when there are slow days, but you guys do a tremendous amount of catering, and that's your sort of that
Mm-hmm.
saves you on slow months, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And so
exactly.
you guys lost a lot of that during. So the wildfires affected your catering business as well as your walk-in.
Yeah, exactly. Because yeah, like we're like as a restaurant, coming into this, when I came into ownership, I was like, okay, we need to have like different avenues, like different sources of income, because with the way that, the restaurant industry has shifted these past 5 years, you can't just rely on, the day to day customer walking in. So, I mean, especially with everything we've seen this year. So, a large portion of, our revenue, it is catering. So, January tends to be the slower season for most restaurants. And we're like, okay, like,
Yeah.
we're fine. It's time to regroup. It's time to regroup with the team, but we know that we have something steady coming in with the catering. But no, like it was just stagnant on both ends, and it really just put a lot into perspective. I mean, you're coming right off of the new year. Everyone is like, hey, resolutions. It's been a really tough past
Yeah.
4 years, maybe the fifth one. The fifth one is, the charm. But yeah, it's been very intense.
So, well, you mentioned Dia de Reyes. What is your menu for that?
Yeah.
What is your catering menu? Just so I know.
Yeah, so it depends. Like we have different, but we really try to keep it cultural. We do always collab with local bakeries and do the Rosca de Reyes. So for me, that's my favorite holiday to cater to because I feel like I get to bring, the community in as well. So whether it's like a typical slow season for us or for them, I feel like at the beginning of the year everyone is like saving, everyone is saying that they're going to budget, but then Dia de Reyes comes and I'm just like, hey, well actually I have these and these orders, like I could rope you in here.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just like the connector and everyone is able to just generate their revenue as well. So it was such a bummer and it was a letdown to be like, you know what, like it's never mind, like we can't do this. But what we did do,
Yeah.
like, okay, everyone's losing their homes. We went and we donated and we were on, the front line with everyone. And then I want to say 4 days in, we were able to get access and then we were able to be on the front line with everyone and we were catering across 5 different sites, which that was insane. And I don't, till this day, I don't know how we did it, but I just think that it was just a collaborative effort of everyone just showing up for LA. And
Yeah.
aside from the craziness, aside from how tough the year has been, I feel like I think that just kind of just set the tone for LA to be tighter than ever. So I just like to look at it that way.
It was a time of optimism, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like this year has been a year of optimism.
Yeah, and it was very different then though because obviously we saw the whole city come out. Like you said, you guys got on the front lines, a
Mhm.
lot of restaurants, and it wasn't just big name chefs, it was also street vendors from our community were just running around to
Mhm.
help people. Everybody was pitching in, and I think a lot of people had this idea, okay, well we survived that now. And and of course it's hard to openly talk about what's going on with your business when, like you said, people have lost their homes, their businesses, and entire
Yeah.
communities wiped out. The so devastating for Palisades and Altadena. But then everybody was looking forward to, okay, well we've made it through one more thing. Now it's time to start making that up. And I'm sure at your restaurant, you guys were looking forward to the coming months and what you were going to do to, recover. And then, of course, in June, which we covered already, so we won't go into the
Yeah.
ice raids. I think you and I want to talk about today about how we are supporting local restaurants and restaurants that meant
Mhm.
something to us. But since you and I spoke about what's happening in the alleys and the ice raids that started in June in your neighborhood there where your business is, has anything changed at all? Because we know the raids have continued. They've gotten worse in some cases. They've gotten less of a spectacle, but they're still, the numbers are there. People are being taken. People are being kidnapped still.
Yeah.
So, what's happening in the fashion district right now?
Yeah, so speaking like for my neighborhood in in specifics, I feel like when we came out with that video, I feel like we got a lot of support.
Yes.
We definitely got a visit from the governor. We got connected with the mayor's office. I feel like that just painted a whole different picture from a business owner's perspective where it's like, hey, like we're collectively going through this. So for me, that opened many doors, and I got together with our city attorney and we were able to put like a motion and a temporary restraining order for like a few blocks from Cuernavaca, and that was a little bit, I don't know, like I've done a lot of things in my career, but I was like that was like one of the most details where you're breaking down your actual like expenses, your losses,
Yeah.
your revenue, you're actually putting it on paper, it's all public. But at the point I was like if I, can do this and it could stop, ice from coming into our neighborhoods at least
Right.
temporarily, like I will do that. So it was a lot of like educating myself, educating our community. So we did that and we were able to get a temporary restraining order. We were actually, in talks of like what are we going to do for this upcoming year. The rates clearly haven't stopped. I will say they are a bit more mild and we really haven't seen them in our area anymore. Well, at least in our few blocks. That's why like whenever I see like a restaurant owner or like a business owner friend, I always say like, reach out to your government officials. I keep on bugging them because they actually, have power. And if they don't, like they could just like ask around and you never know like who's gonna, come to the rescue. But like yeah, like we filed that and then we were just battling it, back and forth, and then we finally were granted the order, and I just felt like it was like a big like weight off of like my shoulders, and our community was able to, just be in peace. I remember a news station had come, I think it was like the second day of the raids, and they wanted to talk to like my dad, like, how is this affecting you guys? And it was just like the news station, but everyone was just panicked out. So just to see everyone, panic out and even just close for like a few days, that just put a lot into perspective for us. And we're like, okay, like we have the power and we have the connection to talk, to do, like, let's take action. So yeah, like I don't, with this new president, a lot of things are changing every day. I guess we're just focused on what we can do for our community,
Right.
and hopefully other people like see that. And then, when they reach out and they ask, like, I can't tell them necessarily what to do, but I can say like the impact that it's making on us and the importance to reach out and just ask questions. About a month ago, we were at a conference with the LA Fashion District, and we had Mayor Bass there, and we were just talking about what we're going to do in these upcoming months, because we're welcoming the world and we want to thrive as a community. But how does enforcement, look for these upcoming months? What does it look like for like a local
Yeah.
business?
No, it's important for everybody to keep on telling the politicians.
Mhm.
I don't think, I think Mayor Bass has been criticized recently for understating the raids.
Mhm.
And again, what you're saying and what I'm saying is, yeah, we might not see all these big confrontations on the streets, but that doesn't mean people aren't being taken, and that they are being taken, and they are even being taken in consistently high numbers.
Mhm.
And obviously, after months and months and months, the government is trying to avoid these community. There's been so much community organizing to confront ICE agents, which we want that to happen,
Mhm.
because they're violating the law. They're not respecting the Constitution, constitutional rights of people, due process, and what is a lawful pathway to be in this country, what everybody is in some way, shape, or form. And but it's still happening. So the pressure needs to we need to keep on talking and
Yeah.
yelling and screaming at these politicians, because they don't get it, not on the level that the community is trying to tell them. You know, um, but that said, we still have to. I don't want to have one horrible human who's it seems like his job is to make everyone miserable, and or his goal, and he seems to be happy about that. So I want to make sure that even though I'm fighting for my community, speaking out, and I'm upset and hurt and angry, but I'm still going to have a great time, and we're still going to have great meals, right?
Yeah,
And we're still going to travel. We're
absolutely.
still going to live. We have to. Um, so I do want to talk about, you know, something you said that was really important. I mean, I think, you and I have different jobs. I'm obviously out trying to report on restaurants, and you are really trying to show up for your community of owners. So where did you eat this year? Like here in town? Let's start with here in town. Like, what are the restaurants that you've been going to a lot, or some also any new
Uh-huh.
restaurants you want to tell us about?
Okay, so everyone like raves about this restaurant, and I think it lives up to the hype. Two Homes. So one of my best friends, her name is Dahlia, and we went to an event and we met Chef Mondo, and I was like, wait, we've heard of this restaurant, and then we kind of heard his story like a little bit, and we're like, okay, we have to try it out. We were just regulars now.
Yeah, a lot of stories about you that either end in disaster start with my best friend Dahlia, and also good things. So Dahlia. So we know Dahlia. We've talked about Dahlia before,
Yes.
and so we love her. She's amazing. And so the two of you have been going to this restaurant. What did you guys eat there?
Okay, so I don't know what this mocktail. Well, clearly, the listeners of your podcast know that I don't really drink.
Oh, it's a shame. You Zoomers, right? You Zoomers are killing. Are you a Zoomer? Are you Generation Z?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, is that what you guys call us?
Yeah, you're the damn Zoomers.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, I had this like
Hey Zoomer.
Hey, at least when like we know what a labubu is. So
Yeah, okay, yeah.
okay,
That's
next podcast we need to do an unboxing where you unbox these labubus, and we need to get them like
yeah.
merch and all of that.
Yeah, see, I'm Gen X. We don't unbox. We don't do gender reveals. We don't do any of this stuff. But
Oh my.
but uh you don't drink. You're killing the damn. So, here you are saving restaurants, but you're also killing the beverage industry. But go ahead. So you don't drink.
So we had like it was a mocktail, but it was like it was like a strawberry spritz.
Oh my God. Was it like $35?
I don't remember. I don't like. I'm just like I'm here to support local. So just like yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, I've always had like the same dish, and it's like this braised like short ribbed with like some whipped like sweet potato. You have to. Have you been yet?
No, they're definitely on my. Oh, that look.
You have to.
Okay. No, they're on my list.
Next podcast, it's gonna be at Two Homes.
Okay. That's where we're going.
Yeah.
All right. So the mocktail. What are some dishes that you love there?
Well, I've just had that one. The weird thing about me is like if I stick to like a dish,
Yeah.
like I will, just ride with that dish. So, we always just go for that one. Another one, but okay, this is another one of my friends, so probably won't end in a disaster.
Okay.
Yesenia, she owns Pink and Bougie, has been doing a lot for the community as well.
Yes, you've talked about Pink and Bougie. Shout out to Pink and Bougie.
Yes, shout out to Pink, and you need to go there as well, Bill.
Okay.
Have a pink taco. And they also have like a Labubu themed brunch. So maybe we could go for the brunch and then you do the unboxing. But we always go to Zinc Cafe
Okay.
in yeah. You know where that's at, right?
Yes, in the Arts District.
Have you been there?
No, but I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, so we go there and then Manuela, and the introduction to Manuela was actually funny because again, Gen Z saw a TikTok.
You you find your restaurants on TikTok?
I do. I really do. You need to get on TikTok.
I'm on TikTok, but
But you need to be more consistent. Like you know what you need to do. Like how Luca's doing the burger reviews. You need to do that, but with like breakfast burritos.
oh, I can't escape them. Breakfast burrito reviews.
But with breakfast burritos, yeah, yeah, and we'll see which one's the best one. Like best rated.
Yeah, but they would all be like takedowns of breakfast burritos.
No, I'm telling you, you haven't gone to Montoya's.
To Montoya's, that's your breakfast. Come on, what's in it? It's a Grand Slam breakfast. It's a Denny's like plate inside of a tortilla. How good is it going to be? How good can it be?
Okay, Okay, well, at least have their oso burrito or their chile verde burrito. I have a lot of friends that live out of state, and
Yeah,
sometimes they'll just fly me to take chiles rellenos and then a Montoya's burrito.
Montoyas.
And then I come home. Yeah, you have to go to Montoya's. Like, me and Montoya's, like,
Well, today I had to go to Burritos La Palma. I'm working on a story, so I had to stop. That's where I go for burritos. Have you been?
okay.
Oh, see?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Okay, look, I'm like the pickiest person. We've had dinner before, you know this. I'm the pickiest person. But when I was in my mom's womb, all she wanted to eat was Montoya's.
Okay. So it
And
goes deep.
28 years later, we're still here.
That burrito cuts deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I always say that, like, a death row meal for me would be Montoya's.
Montoyas. Okay. Well, we're going to have a
Yeah.
burrito swap, you know? So, what are some other places and other local restaurateurs that you've been supporting that you also, that you
Mhm.
like to dine in? I mean, I hope
Mhm.
that you're, going and supporting a friend. I see these chefs that do these shows
Mhm.
and they're like, oh, I'm going to show you my LA. And they only go to the restaurants of their friends. And I'm like, that's kind of lame.
Mhm.
Like that restaurant you just went to is not even that great. But they go to their friends.
Mhm.
But I'm hoping that when you go to your friends' restaurants, you're also getting a good meal. So, what are some other places?
Yeah. So, okay, earlier this year when the wildfires were happening, I just I felt like it was too close to Women's History Month. Women's History Month is always one. So, Women's History Month and Hispanic Heritage is always one of the biggest months for Cuernavaca.
Oh, why is that?
Because whenever like they need like a woman like filler or like a speaker, like they'll always call me. So
Yeah,
I don't know, like this year I was just like it's just been rough. Like I would feel so weird to just go and talk about accomplishments when our community is still healing. So
sure.
so my friends and I, they also own restaurants. We all got together at Casa Vega and we invited first responders to come and just enjoy a meal on us, and then we just collected and then we donated to their foundation. So it was just, I don't know, I think out of all the events that I've done this year, that was just one of the most wholesome events because one, you're seeing everyone, come together here in LA. But I don't know, I feel like personally, because I saw a lot of them like on the line. Like for example, when we catered for them in the beginning of the year, we went through
Yeah,
like a government contract, so we were right on the site, like right in the base where it was all happening, and it was very limited restaurants that were there. But the third day that I was there, I think like I was just starting to get congested with all of the ashes, and I was like, and this is me, like I'm not even like right, where everything is happening. So it just made me gain so much more respect for our first responders. So just to see all of that happen and play out that day, and just like hard work and collective gratitude from LA, it just meant a lot just to see them there with their families and enjoying the meals. But the women involved, it was Cusco Bistro, it was Yuca's, Casa Vega, Jitlada. You've been to Jitlada?
I saw the photo. I saw the photo.
Yeah, you should have been there, Bill.
I I'm a second responder.
I know, but you could have just like gone to support, meet and greet with our first
I could have gone.
responders.
But okay, but I do go to Casa Vega.
Yeah.
I've been going to Casa Vega. Was Christy Vega and her father,
Hmm.
when he was still alive, were featured in my book, LA
Oh.
Mexicano book plug, LA Mexicano. And also I did a story for New York Times,
Mhm.
not the last year, maybe last year or the year before, on Casa Vega, on like for their classics restaurants that have been open for more than 30 years. And so I went back in and went did a couple of visits for my story. So no, I've been going to Casa Vega even before I was back when I was a musician.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, love Casa Vega, but also for Peruvian, I love Cusco Bistro.
Okay, tell me what's great at Cusco Bistro. Where are they located?
So they're in Santa Monica. They were just awarded by Route 66, by the way.
Okay.
So yeah, so they're a classic. I think she turns 20 years like next year or something like that. But I absolutely love their lomo. Well, I'm from Long Beach, so I feel like I can't really find like a good Peruvian spot out here, or like they
Oh
come out here
man.
for a bit and then
Another
yeah.
shot at
And
Long Beach. Always.
no, I love Long Beach. I love, but I will say, like my neighborhood has gotten a lot more gentrified lately.
Oh, that means no good Peruvian. That means no good Peruvian. Gentrified.
Well, the closest I have to like good Peruvian would probably be Boathouse on the Bay, which is here at the marina. So when I go to like Cusco, like she will bring out the lomo, she will bring out the Peruvian ceviche, and then I forgot what they're called, but they're these like they're Peruvian cookies.
Alfajor.
Yes, alfajor.
Al-
She doesn't really,
alfajores.
yeah, she doesn't typically have them on the menu. They're like you just have to order them. But I let her know in advance and she will send me home, just stocked, and I am happy for the rest of the week cuz that's how long they last.
I love all the South American alfajores, the ones from Argentina, Uruguay. But yes, Peru also is a country of alfajores, which are really wonderful. And so you like the lomo
Yeah.
saltado at her place?
I love I love the lomo saltado. Love it. I Wait, have you been to Cusco?
I've been to Peru.
Oh my gosh. Okay, even better.
No, so I've been to a lot of Peruvian restaurants in Los Angeles over the years, and I live by one here in
Mhm.
Hollywood. I tend to go to Natalie's Peruvian, which is right on Hollywood Boulevard. It's right by my
Mhm.
place. So that's my local one. I've been going to Peruvian restaurants for years, but I have not gone to every single one. I have not been to Cusco.
You need to go to Cusco.
Okay, okay.
I have like this every time I talk to Bill.
You're putting me on the spot today. Like you're like, devaluing my street cred here on restaurants. I'm like, man, I didn't go to. That's okay. Nobody can be everywhere. I have assignments. I had to go to Burritos La Palma today.
Oh
I
my
had to. It was my story.
god. Well, next time go to Montoya's.
I could have been at Montoya's. Hey, let me ask you. So you love lomo saltado, which is, I love it too. It's a very simple comfort dish. But here's what I want to know is why does lomo saltado get all this hype and praise,
Mhm.
which it should, and everybody's like craps on fajitas, and like they're not that different.
Okay, so I remember when I don't know, but
Why?
when I was like 8 years old, we used to go to our local Peruvian restaurant. It's not there anymore. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, that place, it's crazy because we have a local Peruvian restaurant, and like every like year or so, like it's getting a new owner. So that's why I'm just like the inconsistency. Like y'all could have made so much good business over here, but I remember we went and my parents used to tell me that it was fajitas just so I could eat it, and I was like, it didn't taste any. Yeah, like it's on the
exactly.
skillet.
See, it's
It's
true.
on the skillet
It's
too.
on this right. Well, fajitas actually tend to be a type of carne asada.
Hmm.
So they're actually, sometimes they're cooked on mesquite, but they're also cooked on a
Yeah,
grill. But it's like it's marinated steak, you know, and the setup is very
very
similar.
similar.
I just to this day, it's like people will say they hate fajitas, they think they're not Mexican, they think they're lame, and then they're like, "Oh, but lomo saltado." I'm like, "Okay, you guys are not. You can't discern information because they're very similar." Even Naomi was told as a kid that they're fajitas. See, there you go.
Hey, but actually, like I remember, in my defense, my parents took me
In your
to
defense.
Catalina Island, and I told everyone it was Hawaii. So
Oh my gosh. Okay. See,
very easy to bamboozle me.
you are.
And here we go. Here we go to the Portugal story. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do know. We're not even going to go there. We're not even going to go there.
No, no. Speaking of that, have you had pastel de nata before?
Yes,
Okay, what are your recommendations for like a really good pastel de nata?
I don't have Rex. You mean here in town? No, I don't have Rex here in town.
Yeah, here in town.
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh, because when I was over there, I would eat like 3 a day, and now I'm just trying to find them. I'm
You're
I'm on a hunt.
This is okay. See, now you're coming into my territory. This is how it started for me. I was traveling as a musician. I'd go to Sinaloa or I'd go to, Sonora, and I'd come back to LA and I'm like, where can I find these,
Mhm,
foods and restaurants? And that's how
mhm.
that's how it started. So,
Yeah, for me, it's like pastel de nata and wagyu, like the best wagyu. I went to Japan with Dahlia.
yes.
Yeah, and we waited 3 hours for a wagyu bento box,
Okay.
and we just kept on going. Yeah.
Okay, so you're well, we do have a lot of great, I'd say for in the United States, LA does
Mhm,
have a good Japanese food scene, compared to other
mhm.
markets in the United States. So I think you might find it, maybe.
Yeah, like for the ramen out there, they just opened like their first US based like brick and mortar, but it's in New
Yeah,
York, and I might just have to
you
go to
might
New
have to.
York.
You might have to.
Yeah.
So where okay, so those are your places in town. Where did you travel this year and what was good on the road?
Okay. So I so my favorite travel was Japan. And then when we were out in Japan, we're just like on this high, and we decided, hey, we should go to Korea as well. So we went to Korea. It was amazing. Had Korean fried chicken out there. We like the street food scene out there is amazing as well. And then we had Korean food. Well, Korean barbecue out there is a little bit different, I would say.
Right. I've
Like,
Everyone has told me that. My good friend Matt Kang, who was the editor of LA Eater, who's now
yeah,
a columnist, or he's got a new position, and he's doing content for Eater and reports. So he said that Korean barbecue here is a little bit more upscale than it is over there.
yes, I will say that. I know, so Dahlia was really, really excited about that. And I'm always very open minded. But yeah, like the culture, it was a little bit different in comparison to Japan. Like
Yeah.
you're in Japan, everyone's like saying hi, and we're the two loudest girls everywhere. And then we go to Korea, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they said good morning to me. I'm so excited. Um, yeah, so we had Korean barbecue for breakfast, and then we just really explored that, and then I fell in love with Korean fried chicken out there. I will say it is like a little bit sweeter.
Over there, it's sweeter.
Over there it's a little bit more sweeter, or at least the place we went to. We were there for 3.5, 4ish days, and we were staying at this hotel that was like overlooking Seoul, and at the bottom they had a mom and pop shop, and they were trying to expand. So every day we would just try a new flavor.
Wow. Okay. This is interesting to hear.
Yeah.
I actually, I don't know. People, I don't want to say people get me wrong because I don't really care how people get me, but I really love, I always question people about their choices when they eat. And a lot of people get defensive. They think that I'm
Mhm.
judging them. I'm like, no, I'm actually very curious to hear how people experience
Uh,
food when they travel. It's actually very good information for me to know as a writer. I want to know what people do and what they're interested in and what they, so for you, Korean fried chicken was like something you got into over there. And so you did more than
mhm.
one, you did several. And I think that's
Mhm.
wonderful.
Yeah, and then in Japan, like I remember we were very excited to try sushi, and it was amazing. But I would say the wagyu definitely caught us
Yeah.
off guard.
So and for sushi, did you go to any of the famed places or you just walked in a place that did sushi?
We just walked into places that did sushi. We were also on the block in Osaka, and then we had octopus, like the
Yeah.
octopus balls. Um,
Takoyaki?
yes. And Bill, I always just explain the food to Bill. He knows. Like, what, yeah. Dahlia wasn't like the biggest fan. I was. I
Dahlia. Always Dahlia.
yeah. And then from there, I came home, and then I went to Europe. I will say
Right?
the food in Portugal is amazing.
You're The food in Portugal is amazing.
The food in Portugal is amazing. I mean, I went to Spain as well,
Yeah,
but I've been to Spain,
you
like, in the
you had an
past.
adventure in Portugal.
So,
We won't talk about it, but
I did.
what did you love in Portugal?
Okay, so I went to this restaurant called Almeja, and they had so their rice, like, it's served with broth. So it was like rice with broth, and it had like lobster tail, like, at the
Mm.
top. Amazing. Like, I dream about that place almost as much as I dream about Wagyu.
Okay, and so that was a seafood restaurant.
I would say it was just more of a, like, a combination. Like, they had absolutely everything. I read a little bit because I know it's on the Michelin Guide. So
Okay,
I read a little bit
all
about
right.
it.
So you went to
Yeah, when
a
I
fancy
was,
place, a fancier place.
yeah, because I was like, okay, like, I really loved their story. I know the husband, he's the chef, and then the wife is the pastry chef. And I am very much like gluten free, or like I've tried to this year
Yeah.
for like the sake of my mom. Like, we've all just like adapted to eating a bit healthier. So I was like, okay, like, let's see, what it does like to my body. And it was amazing. Like, I probably had like 4 rolls of like bread, and I was just like, I have to stop. Like, I must be stopped. So yeah, like, I had that, and then their sardines were amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So then from there, I went to Gaia in Portugal, and then Gaia is like right where they fish.
Oh wow,
So had fresh sardines from there, and it was,
that sounds
oh my gosh,
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, everyone's talking about
Yeah.
Portugal these days. Everyone's talking about it. The sea, especially the seafood. I feel like in the last few years, Portugal's become much more of a destination for the food
Mhm.
lovers. And people don't like to say the word foodies, but I don't care. Foodies, and it that's also on my list. Portugal because of seafood, and I'm a seafood lover. All right. Any place else?
So I mean, there's Spain. You can't go wrong with a paella. And then I went to Mexico.
Where did you go in Mexico?
I went to Ciudad de Mexico, and oh my gosh, I absolutely, well, I mean, when you're in Mexico, for us, like, I love home cooked meals, and then
Yeah.
we just do like street foods. Have you had muertortas before?
Which one?
Muertortas? They're the really big tortas, and it's in Ciudad de
But
Mexico.
okay,
I'll have to get you the information.
you're talking about a specific name of a place.
Yeah,
So just okay, in general, tortas chilangas.
basically, yeah, but they're like really big.
Okay,
Like, that's why they're called muertortas.
muertortas. Okay. Oh my God, this is a
Yeah.
fucking TikTok thing, isn't it?
No, it's not. This was before TikTok.
Okay, but I mean, like, I've had tortas chilangas for decades. I've been
Mhm.
having, yes, they're big. I mean, I've had the regular size one and also the larger ones. I went to a place years ago, over a decade ago, where it had one of those challenges, and I was there with 3 people, and we ordered it. It was a
Have you
challenge for one
wait,
person to eat, but
have you ever done those challenges?
no, hell no. That'll take you out for the whole trip
There's this girl who's like really petite. I don't know her name, but I see her like on my FYP like here and
on your
there.
TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah, she eats like the entire table.
yes,
And I'm just all like,
yes.
how?
There's a woman. I know. I think I know who you're talking about. There's a woman who does these food challenges. Oh, I don't like food challenges. I just tasted that torta, but I mean, Ciudad de Mexico is a torta city, so I've had the torta de chilaquil, the torta de tamal, all the cubanas, the different tortas
Mm.
chilangas. So I've had many wonderful tortas. I have one every time I go.
I haven't had the one that tamal yet.
Oh, that's a special one.
In a good way?
No, it is. It's great. So, oh, do you have
Okay.
reservations?
No, okay, the only thing with me is I think the only thing off limits is I don't think hot Cheetos belong in food.
Yes. Okay. All right.
That's the only reservation I have.
That's your red line there. And
Yeah, like, I'm just like, I'm not crossing that.
right. Well, yes. The torta de tamal. So in Ciudad de Mexico, anywhere you go in the city, in the morning where they sell tamales, they always have the teleras, or the bolillos.
Mhm.
Speaking of, right, Mexico makes great bread, and all those
Yes.
vendors have incredibly, crisp, crunchy bread. And so I've seen people do it here in LA, but without the right telera, without the very outstanding, excellent Mexican bread made in Mexico, the torta de tamal, the guajolota is not it's not special without that bread. So you go to any of those vendors and pick your tamal, have them put it in the bolillo, and have that with some atole. Is that's an amazing experience. So that's going to be on your next trip, right?
Yeah. Speaking of bread, I don't know if you've heard of La Mochila City.
La Mochila City.
Yeah, they're out in Silmer out here. And
Oh yes, yes, the hot dog place.
yes, I would say
They're
like
from Sinaloa.
they're
They're
from
from
Sinaloa,
Sinaloa.
but their bread, like it's like this like fluffy telera, amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you had them before?
No, but I've had those in Sinaloa. So I've I've had the Sinaloa in Sonora.
Okay,
I've had the
bless.
hot dogs everywhere. I
Yeah.
actually, so you like them, right? You like La Mochila.
Mhm.
So I think
Yeah.
they follow me, and so I'm coming for them at some point. You know, it's hard to make room, Naomi, when you're eating all the time and you're going out
Yeah.
to places to go out and eat again. So I don't know how. Yeah, it's definitely hard when I already have assignments to go eat. But yes, La
Mhm.
Mochila, I'm coming for you at some point. I know you guys follow me. I'm going to try to sneak in. So, I think they're at Smorgasburg on Sundays now,
Yes,
and
they
they're
are.
also up in the valley.
So my last one, and this is the one that I always get judged for, but
Uh oh.
I love it. My family loves it. My sister got married there.
Okay. Okay.
And then this will probably stem into my last question. Okay, so I love Coco Palm in Pomona.
Okay.
Have you been there? I'm pretty sure you've played there, right?
No, I've never played at a Coco Palm.
I love like every time I go, like I will. That is a restaurant that I will get a different dish at, whether it's like a lobster quesadilla or the house special, or even I'll even just go there for empanadas and just to like overlook the city.
Okay.
I love it there. I love their whiskey sour there.
Okay. They'll even drive you to drink.
Yeah, it will. Last time, like I had Dahlia as designated driver, I was like, I'm tired. It's been a long year, and I took her there, and then she liked it too, loved it. So I was all like, well, they could judge both of us together.
And why do people judge you for Coco Palm?
They say that that's not like real Cuban food.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, here in Los Angeles, we don't have a strong Cuban scene. You know,
Exactly.
we've always had Cuban American. That's more derivative of what's happening in Miami, and not as good as what's in Miami. Because there was one place years ago when I was writing for LA Magazine called La Caridad. La Caridad was amazing, and they had a daily changing menu. And I've been to Cuba 3 times, and so like their daily menu was like the paladares that I went
Mhm.
to in Cuba. Like it had that flavor. It had a lot of those same dishes, and there was all these old Cubans hanging out in the afternoon drinking MGD, and so
Mhm.
like I'm like, this is the place, and I'd written about that place. It was the only place I've ever found in LA that had real Cuban food for me. But so I don't know where we're gonna find, the best authentic Cuban here in LA. I
Yeah.
think you have to go to Miami or New York for that. Sorry.
Yeah. I haven't been to Miami in years, so there's that.
Yeah, you don't. Miami's not your place. You don't do that kind of
I
thing.
used to like I want to say the last time I went was in 2022, which was like I think I was a year into the program, to like my college program, but it's been a while. Now I like to go like more international. I like the language barrier, and then just like you learn a lot about
Yeah.
culture and customs when you have those barriers.
No, Miami's for party, get drunk people. I
Yeah.
I do like the food scene around Miami, not in Miami
Mm-hmm.
proper, but I also don't go to Miami unless it's like I went for a food event. I went for Sobe um,
Mm-hmm.
a couple times and had fun at that food event, and also exploring the Cuban restaurants, Haitian restaurants, other uh, South American, Central American restaurants that are out there, Dominican. But like, for me, that's stuff we can't get here. So I do
Mm-hmm.
that, but actually going into like South Beach is pretty lame for me. We want to go to someplace cultural.
The last time I went to Brickwell. Don't remember that trip. So there's that.
See, okay, the old that was Dalia involved in that?
No, I actually
Okay,
introduced her to Miami, so maybe I'm the bad influence.
maybe you're the bad influence.
Maybe I am. But what did you eat this year?
Well, for the job, and this year was another big year on the road. Despite all of the hellscape that was Los Angeles, I had wonderful meals here and traveling. I spent a lot of time in Hermosillo. Have you been?
No, I haven't.
I absolutely love Hermosillo. I love Sonora in general, but I was able to make two just really food intensive trips there and ate at all kinds of wonderful places. Having Cayo de Hacha, and I don't know if you had Cayo de Hacha
No.
with the real guy. I mean, you might have had it here in LA, but
Mhm.
you'd have to go to like a Sinaloan restaurant, and even when they have them, they're not that fresh. There's no way they can be. But on the beach at Valle de Quino, they have these incredible in the shell Cayo de Hacha, and having Vuelve a la Vida at La Cirujana in Valle de Quino twice this year was a really memorable experience for me. And I also went. I love the carne asada there, of course, of course, of course. But there's this new place for me, a new place for me that I went to twice called Tacos del Chava. Everybody knows Tacos de Armando from Hermosillo because they're now in Mexico City. It's a fancy sit down taqueria with wine that does traditional, but they've gotten
Mhm.
so much hype, and they deserve it. It's amazing. But there was another one called Tacos del Chava, and so for me, this was like a big year of exploring the large scale taquerias of Mexico. I had lots of experiences throughout the year at these incredible large scale taquerias. So the one thing that at Tacos del Chava in Hermosillo, it's such an incredible scene, to see a bunch of taqueros, a whole like army of taqueros, and there's an island that's like with 15 condiments, 20 condiments for the salsa bar. And it's one of these places where there's a lot of servers, and within moments of sitting down, you're already receiving the salsas that are on the table, and they're taking your order. Tacos come quick, and then you're running over to the salsa bar. It's like this frantic rush to try to get it dressed and take your photo so that you can eat the tacos. But like these large scale taquerias, people have not seen that here in Los Angeles. We don't have anything like that. We have long lines, but there's a place like Angels Tijuana Tacos that has incredible lines,
Mhm.
and there's another place called Los Cabrones or something like that. They also have a huge line, but they don't have a big staff. They're very small staff, so it's just a bunch of people in line. But this like has there's more staff, but the line moves because people are being seated. People are being given tacos because you have this whole brigade system. The taco brigade system, registered trademark of the Taquiondon podcast. And so there was a bunch of those places in Sonora that I went to. La Purísima in Hermosillo. Now, you're a fan of birria, I presume.
Yeah.
Yes. And do you have a place in town you like? Where do you go?
I I go
Besides
to
Cuernavaca's Grill. Do you guys do birria?
We do, but we don't like that's not what we like specialize in. It
Yeah,
is.
it's not a specialty. You do it as a stew, as a regular stew, Mexican stew.
Yes. I really, really like it's called Abuelita's Birria.
Oh, okay. Where's that?
Yeah, it's really good. I DoorDash it.
It's a
Bill,
you
I want
DoorDash
his
birria. You
I do, and it's so good. But okay, real talk.
Okay.
they they have this place in Wilmington, and it's called Tacos El Puma.
Okay. Is it a good looking older gentleman like El Puma?
I don't know what your definition of.
There's this
Oh,
singer called El Puma.
Bill, you're gonna get me so canceled.
Okay, no. Okay, Tacos El Puma, you like that place.
Yeah, I really like that place. It's a taco truck, and it's more of like in an industrial area.
Yeah.
So I'll be like the only girl that pulls up there, and y'all just I'll have my 5 tacos de birria,
Okay.
which
Hey,
is a lot for me.
these are both new places for me. So I'll, put those on I'll listen to the podcast and I'll check them out.
Yeah.
So there's this place called La Purísima in Hermosillo. It's just outside the city limits on the road to the Rio Sonora. And this place is unbelievable. I think it has like 50 picnic benches under this, it's like a covered building, but it's open on the sides. 50 picnic benches, something like that, ridiculous. They have 10 giant pots where they cook the birria underground, and they use pulleys
Oh,
and load them onto trucks, and then they drive the truck. The truck drives the pot over around the corner to the front of the restaurant, and they have like four people loaded in, and you have like a whole table, two tables together, two picnic benches of people just cutting vegetables. And you go there, and again, you sit down. It's fast service. There's birria in caldo, tacos de birria, and tacos de asientos. Have you ever had a taco de asientos?
no, I haven't.
So it's a lard taco, amazing. And I know that sounds great, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Yeah. So you got the lard taco. You put a little cheese inside, the verdura, salsa, and the service is. I love the service of large scale taquerias in Mexico. So again, shout out to my favorite carne asada spots in Tijuana, El Nuevo Poblano, and La Pasadita de la Veinte. Those places, everyone who loves carne asada and adobada here in Los Angeles, you really haven't had it until you've been to those places and experienced the taqueria of scale. Many people have been to Taqueria El Frank in Tijuana, and that one is a great example of that too. But I prefer these other ones. And in Mexicali, I went to Acatlan de Juarez, a place I'd been to a long time ago, but I think I really got to appreciate this place this time. Naomi, I went there at midnight, and they had probably 250 seats full
Wow.
and outside, and they had a drive-through. People were getting their orders to go in their car, and they had people getting orders walking up and getting orders to go. It's ridiculous, this place. They have an adjoining building. It looks like a basketball court. It's like a size of a basketball court, and it's just got a line around of people doing prep, cutting tomatoes, cutting cilantro, doing prepping salsas, all kinds of things for this taqueria. And the moment you sit down, literally within 2 minutes, somebody drops 20 salsas on your table, like a tray, like a lunch
Wow.
tray with salsas, and a second smaller tray with the rest of them. And then, like, you order your tacos, they come quick, and they're really good. So that was another experience that I had recently. Tacos Brothers in Mexicali that does tacos de borrego and tacos de cabeza. That place, both of these places are on my Eater Mexicali guide. And so this year I really had a lot of experiences at places like that. I'm really fascinated by that. Have you been to Comal here in at the Mercado La Paloma? We've talked about that a lot on the podcast.
No, I haven't, but I've seen like everything you've posted. It looks amazing.
Right. Okay, so you and I we both have some blind spots. We're going to catch up this year in
Yeah,
2026.
absolutely.
So I think one of my favorite comal concepts in Mexico, there's two of them, actually. One is La Carmelita Molina in Tijuana, And because it's a molino with all the heirloom corn and all the great tortillas, great masa products, but with Tijuana flavors, like birria and mariscos. But there's one that's really ambitious in Guadalajara named Chocol. And Chocol, I hear people saying, well, they're kind of moving away from the molino because they're doing fine dining. But that operation there is amazing. They're doing like 100 covers of tasting menus and huge brigade in their kitchen, and they're doing beautiful masa, but they're also doing other dishes too, and it's a wonderful tasting menu. And they have another molino down the street that's just more typical, where you get tetelas and gorditas and tacos and things like that. That's also part of their business. But Chocol is so amazing. Have you been to Guadalajara?
I haven't yet. Yeah.
So you need to go. I feel like
Mhm.
Alcalde right now just moved up to number 15 on the 50 best list. And, that is what it is. But Alcalde has always been one of the best tasting menus in Mexico. Chef Paco Ruano, you have to go there. Mecenas Bar. I went with Don Fulano on a trip there, and it's a tequila I've always loved. I had it in my collection long before I ever heard from them, even before I was into food writing. So I got to visit their distillery, and that was really amazing. And on the same trip, I went to these different places in Guadalajara, like a new place called Casa de las Brasas, and there's an amazing bar there named Gallo Altanero, and they do cocktails in the velas.
Okay, that is so cool.
So yeah, with the Virgin on it. So really cool. Oh, see, that got you. And you would like Mecena. Okay, you and Dalia would love
Mhm.
Mecenas Bar. It's like it looks like a cathedral a little bit inside, and it's like a corridor, and the bar is lit with all these wonderful spirits. It has good food from Chef Jose Ginostrosa from Arca in Tulum, so a friend of the podcast. So he does the menu, but it's a very
Mhm.
woman friendly bar in Guadalajara. Like it's all tables of women and like, having fun, socializing. And it just seems like a very safe space and welcoming space for women in general. So shout out to Mecenas. And then a couple more. God, there were so many amazing meals. I was in Philadelphia for the chef conference, which is now the Chef's Assembly, which happened here in Los Angeles. And man, I finally have you heard of South Philly Barbacoa?
No, I haven't.
So she was on. I think she was on
Mhm.
Chef's Table. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was on Chef's Table. My industrious producer Luca says verified. South Philly Barbacoa was in Chef's Table. And so I finally went there. So I've been wanting to make a trip to Philadelphia just to go to that place. So that was a really special, event for me to be able to do that. I found this incredible. I think one of the best Argentine concepts in the United States called Jezebel's that does, it's a coffee shop, but they also do empanadas and other savory baked goods from Argentina. And she's from an indigenous region in northern Argentina, so that's really amazing. And then, oh my gosh, Valle in Oceanside, a restaurant that Roberto Alcocer is going to be on the podcast soon. We're going to have him because this restaurant is so special. You need to go. And Lilo, have you heard of Lilo? Lilo's in Carlsbad, I believe, and it's a fan. You know what the restaurant seems to be like they're going for
Mhm.
Michelin stars like out of the gate, but it didn't bother me that was their ambition. I felt it, but I love the way their service was. It was like, okay, if you want to get 3 Michelin stars, you have to have a separate area for the snacks when you arrive, cocktails and snacks, and then you go for the tasting menu. Lots of tableside preparations, tableside cocktails, and then you go to a separate area for the desserts. So that's like seems to be a theme that a lot of restaurants that have 2 and 3 stars are doing. I'm like, okay, you guys are maybe gaming it, but you're so good. Great meal. I love the sommelier. She's, I think, the best sommelier, one of the best I've ever experienced here in
Mhm.
California and maybe anywhere. So these are great places. And the last couple of things I want to really share with you is that I went to Zacatecas with legendary singer Pepe Aguilar and got to see his Zacatecas. And we went to different, we had all these incredible bites and, and dined at his house and had local birria Zacatecana. So it's a thing, people. Don't get upset. Birria Zacatecana is just as good as Jalisco. I'm sorry. It's amazing. And
You're rage baiting the internet right now.
rage, I'm putting you in this too. Asado de boda, which is a type of mole. Amazing food. And also I had at a market there a torta de
Mhm.
birria, but it was on a soft telera, not a hard
Mm.
one like in Jalisco. And it like got all soaked and soppy. So it was like all the bread and like wet bread inside the caldo. You know, I had to eat it with like a spoon. I couldn't even pick it up. It was so amazing.
It does. I'm a big birria person. That's why.
So see, doesn't that sound good? You are a big birria person. Actually, I have a spot I want to take you to. So we're gonna talk about that. And Tijuana, I'm there all the time. Shout out to, I'm going to move faster here. I'm going to shout out to Orix, who just celebrated 10 years in Tijuana. Incredible tasting menu you have to do. All these are on Eater guides that a lot of these places are on. I do the Eater Guadalajara, I do Eater Tijuana, Eater Valle de Guadalupe, Eater Ensenada. And so Orix, and also I went to Mexico City a couple times this year, and one of the most incredible things was to experience. I love to be there during chiles
Mhm.
en nogada season. Are you a big chiles en nogada person?
Yeah, that's actually funny enough. That's my family's specialty, which is so funny because I'm like, we're viral for chiles rellenos. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Do you guys have a chiles en nogada?
No, we don't. We used to.
Oh, okay. But I'm saying you guys do it. You have the recipe.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why aren't you bringing that out?
Because I feel like it takes like a very like special person to like it's either you love it or you don't at all.
You know what? Screw these people. Can you just make it for me?
Oh my gosh,
Make it
no.
for me.
I got you. Next time you come to Cuernavacas.
No, I mean, well, let's do it during the season next year. I want your family's recipe. Forget all these other people. No, you guys don't. All the stupid videos, they go, come with me. No, don't come with me. I don't want, you're not invited. I'm going, just, you and your family, and I'm going to have chiles en nogada with you guys.
Yeah.
So I had it at Carmela y Sal, and we
Uh,
talked about that on another episode. Um, Chef Gavi, one of my favorite people in the world, has this incredible chiles en nogada. And I'd say one of the two, so many great tasting menus this year, but one was at M. I do not enjoy the new restaurants in Mexico City that are featuring food from outside, like food from other parts of Mexico or food from international California cuisine, Thai food. I don't want to do that in Mexico City. So M really, you know, just like stood out for me because he's riffing on national Mexican dishes. He does the most beautiful tostada of tuna with this like layered pieces, intricate layered pieces of avocado on the top. It's so beautiful, and such so many outstanding dishes, but all Mexican flavors, Mexican antojitos traditions in a fine dining setting. So I recommend M, which is right next door to a very popular spot called Mi Compa Chava, which a lot of people go to. Wait,
yes.
you're nodding. You've been?
I've
Of
been.
course you went to Mi Compa
Of
Chava.
course. And then also right now that you mentioned international, I thought you were gonna say, I don't know, the bread in the UK.
Well, that's okay. That's coming up. We have an episode coming up. So, Richard, we're coming for you. in a big way. But the I will say this: the British, when it comes to food, the British have no case to make in the world about food. They're not even in that conversation. Like when you talk about great cuisines of the world, there's so many wonderful countries from Italy, China, Mexico, Thailand, Japan. We can go on. Portugal, countries that have dynamic, uh, a variety of dishes, a variety of traditions, delicious traditions, spicy traditions. England is not in that conversation at all. So, so this guy is an idiot. But we got something for him. We're baking up something fresh for you, my friend. What did you think of Mi Compa Chava?
I'm sorry. I thought you were headed in that direction. I was like, oh, we're going there.
Well, okay, but that you know what? Okay, we're gonna do an episode, so maybe we'll have to bring you back for that. But yeah, that's coming
Just
up.
give me a sneak peek before.
What's that?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I was like, just give me a sneak peek before. I'm so curious for that.
Well, I think the main issue is it's completely out of ignorance. It's
Uh
complete
huh.
ignorance and stupidity and inexperience and not so if your only sophistication in your life is that you can make bread rise, but you can't understand how deep the cultural connections to bread Mexico has from Dia de los Muertos. We offer our bread to our ancestors. We eat bread in a variety of different ways. We have like the tortas you and I were talking about. These amazing tortas
Yeah.
come in great bread. And so the idea that the only expression and the only thing is how, what yeast you use and what ingredients don't cook themselves. This is always this argument. Well, this chef uses the best ingredients. Well, the chef can't cook them and doesn't make them special. So I can tell you, I had an incredible guajolota, one of my favorite places in Mexico City, which comes with it's a torta de chilaquil with a little bit of milanesa. It's got crema, it's got our cheese, it's got a little
Mm.
salsa in there, and the bread is crispy and fluffy on the inside. And there is nothing in this guy's bakery, Green Rhino, that's better than that. So, and that is our culture. The culture is Mexicans have to work and they want a big breakfast that's going to fill them up. They're going to work in construction that day. They're going to do some manual labor. They're students and they're going to be whatever. They're going to be traveling all day on the metro. They need a big breakfast that hits with lots of carbs. And that tradition of nutrition, sustenance, and also just creativity is miles ahead of anything that's happening in England and in a Danish bakery. You know, here's a croissant. Well, fuck you. It's great. It's great. But we also have traditions, and ours might even have deeper cultural connections to bread, not just this is good bread. It's in our families and pueblos, and it's these connections that we have throughout cultural celebrations. I that is something I think I want to say now, but we're going to get into that for sure. But
For
yeah,
sure.
and this guy is getting the heat from everyone. I mean, when you say something so bold, but then you got to shut down your comments
Yeah.
and you got to make your page private, then you're not only are you a loudmouth, but you're a coward. You know, and so that's chicken shit. Luca knows this. My producer knows this. If I say it, you get to come. You get to say whatever you want to me. I've been insulted personally for things. That's fine. Come do it. It's okay. You're welcome. Express yourself. Be but if you're gonna run your mouth, you need to be able to back it up. And you back it up by standing in front of Mexico and taking your lumps, you know? But the fact that he doesn't want to do that,
Yeah. That's the thing with Mexico. They either like love you or you're
yeah.
like, and I'm just like, I don't know. I think it took him a little while to release that statement. I don't know if you saw his statement or what you think of that.
Yeah. No, it's nothing. What his statement should be is I'm here to listen. Open up those comments.
Mm-hmm.
Take it.
Yeah.
Take those. It's going to be bad, but I think that's just utter cowardice to say to be. This guy is a loudmouth. I saw him on the podcast talking. He's just making all these very strong statements. Not again, I'm not against that. I'm a person that does that too. But at least if I'm going to say something, I'm not going to say something without knowing what I'm talking about. And I am not ever going to shut down comments, and run away from, my words, my own words. So to me, that's proof that he even doesn't believe what he said, because otherwise he'd be open to hearing what people have to say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
okay,
the
Naomi,
kombucha. It was
that's
amazing.
Miko Pachava. Now, see, I'm fascinated. So I don't go to Mi Compa Chava because it's to me it's a regular Sinaloan restaurant that I could find in
Mhm.
Sinaloa, which I do go there, and you can find it in Tijuana. They do a nice job. The space is nice, but I get it. If you're not going to Sinaloa, you're not going to go to those places in Tijuana. It's a good experience to have, right?
Yeah.
The products are amazing, but it's very just typical Sinaloa street food stand food. What did you love there?
So I'm not a big like oyster person, but I will say like right there, like I really did.
Oh my god,
Well,
you didn't just say that.
but I loved them there.
Okay. So you're eating funky oysters and then you're blaming it on oysters? Are you going to the marisco stand where they get the oysters in the jar?
No.
Oh, okay, so you love the oysters there. I'm sure they were amazing.
Mhm. Yeah, and then I also really liked their aguachiles, and again, Dalia's from like half of her family's from Sinaloa, so I guess that was like my judge, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. But I mean, it's really nice.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
so Sinaloa approved. No, the guy's from Sinaloa.
Mhm.
I know he does a good job. I know it's delicious. I mean, so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying I'm in Mexico City. I'm not going to go to Oklahoma
Yeah.
for New York pizza. And so I'm just going to focus. But I think that's if I'm sure you've never had anything like that before.
Yeah.
If you've not been to Culiacan, so he's doing that experience there, which is wonderful. So you had a great aguachile. You enjoyed your oysters. Did you get a torre?
No, I didn't. They did, but actually, my brother-in-law, he's from Nayarit. He didn't like.
Okay.
He has his reservations.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Nayarit's a totally different tradition,
yes. When it like
and
even the way that we
it.
cook
Go ahead.
ceviche, like he's just like Naomi, like what is this? And I'm just like my harshest critic.
Yeah. So in Nayarit, their traditions are more simple
Mm-hmm.
and straightforward. It's just like great shrimp, chile, lime, salt, and not all the ornamentations, not all the
Yeah.
sauces, not all the dustings. So it's more austere and original.
Yep.
So I could see where he would not like that.
My
But
niece.
Mexicanos somos así.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like their birria over there in that state. I don't like their barbacoa in that state. We're like that.
Yeah, my niece is, well, he says that that's like his closest thing to Nayari because when she was probably like 8 months, she was like sucking on the dry shrimp with like the powdered chile, and he's all like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm so
Yeah,
proud," and I'm like, "She just crawled." Like,
right.
but yeah,
Yeah, and
they're very simple, very particular, and yeah, no. Whenever we make ceviche, I'm just like, I just Maverick, don't try it. Like we're good to go.
yeah, Nayarit's very
Hmm.
different. Especially you get into Culiacan and up through Los Mochis in the northern
Hmm.
part of Sinaloa. You get all the flavors of the chucheria on the mariscos. You get the tajin, you get the tamarindo, you get you know the salsa negra, different types of sauces and chamoy, lots of
Yeah.
chamoy and stuff like that and things. So you would not find that in Nayarit. But both incredible traditions. And lastly, I want to say my best and most surprising and impressive meal of the year was here in LA, was Broken Spanish Comedor. Have you been yet?
No.
Okay. So, and did you ever go to the old Broken Spanish?
We gotta go.
Okay, so we got to go to that one too. So, Chef Ray Garcia has come back with his Broken Spanish concept in this comedor. It started as a pop up, and they were just going to do it month to month through the end of the year. But I know they've signed a lease, and they're going to be around. They're here to stay. They've expanded their hours. But after closing in the pandemic, Chef Ray Garcia has really found, I think, the 2.0 of this concept with beautiful presentations of some of his classics, like the chicharrón that he's known for, and in this wonderful green salsa, and his lentils, lentejas, like refried lentejas. But everything there is like, I think when you go there, order whatever protein you want to get, the lamb, beef, or whatever, and then order the lentejas, get your salsas, get those wonderful tortillas, and make tacos and beautiful enchiladas. I haven't seen sort of upscale enchiladas that don't look
Yeah.
silly. Sometimes it's just like, why are we doing this to enchiladas? It's just keep it simple. But I really love what he's doing across the board. Great mezcal, great cocktails. So I'm excited for when he's actually going to bring back the full restaurant, Broken Spanish. That's going to happen sometime this coming year. So I'm glad we got to talk about this. What we looked forward to this year, what made us happy, what often cured us, healed us with all that's going on, and in 2026, we are looking for an end to this, right? It needs to end. Assault on restaurants, assault on the California economy, invasions. We want ICE out of LA. We want ICE out of California. And we want to get back to the business of living, eating well, and being able to go to our restaurants without fear, right? So that's my wish for 2026.
Yeah, my wish is, the same, especially because we're welcoming the world to our city. And we just want to be an amazing representation of what LA really is without being scared or without just overlooking, everything. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Naomi. And of course, for listeners of the podcast, you have more Naomi in 2026 to look forward. So we'll be doing lots of different things together. We're going to go eat birria. We're going to go to this, have not real Cuban food and do all kinds of fun things. We're going to drink whiskey sours. Pink tacos. It'll be the first time I've had that.
And a Labubu unboxing.
So, and a Labubu unboxing. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. And thanks. You and I were friends before, but I feel like that podcast episode and bonding over our cultural differences between Gen X and Zoomers really, came together in that podcast episode. So, all right. Thanks again. And happy holidays to you. Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
Thank you for tuning in to the Taqueando podcast this week. And be sure to tune in next week for another episode. And please leave us a rating or review wherever you listen to your podcasts.